My first view of the Grand Canyon. A little bit hazy right now. We're hiking down the Kaibab Trail. Weather is cool still. 90-degree weather will be upon us shortly. But for the moment, it's spectacular and comfortable.
Ago.
The sandstone?
That is the sandstone. That's the Coconino sandstone, that big white unit. In fact, you can see the cross bedding in it. It's not quite as massive as the Navajo, but that is the Coconino sandstone. Now, just above it, you'll see there's a small cliff, or I should say, ridge that has some plants, and then you see the Coconinos again, but then above that, you see that kind of that slope former with the vegetation on it?
Okay.
Just above the Coconinos?
Yeah.
Well, right in there, that's the Toro Weep limestone, and we're kind of in the Toro Weep right now. It's a limestone sandstone unit, forms a bit more of a slope with some occasional ridge formers, and then above that you start seeing more of a ridge forming kind of 5 to 10 foot layered unit, and that's the Kaibab limestone. And then if we go back to the Coconinos, look at the color of the unit just below it. A bright red. That's the Hermit Shale, but it weathers down and covers everything below it. But then you see where this promontory comes out, and you start seeing these kind of sandstone layer, and then a thin layer, and then a sandstone layer. Well, that's the Supai group. And so you're getting into this mixture. But notice how the Coconinos is really nice, because look how you can follow it all the way around like a bathtub ring.
Yeah. How's the Coconino?
Yeah, that's a Coconinos.
You're vertical.
C-O-C-O.
Let's see. Unlike many of you, I'm sure you didn't bring your handy-dandy
Hermit shells, the red stuff.
I have to protect it from the rain.
cross-section that
I have.
you gotta learn
I
to
brought
work
it
with
somewhere.
Yeah, so let's see what this says about. Let's first do the Kaibab. Gray limestone with some sandstone, siltstone, gypsum, and chert. You'll see little cherty units in it. When we see that, I'll show you. Shallow sea, flat titles, form cliffs. Then the Toro Weep formation, gray limestone. It's actually, when you're in it, it's hard to tell it from the Kaibab. It's chert, but it has kind of a reddish sandstones in it sometimes. Siltstone, gypsum, shallow sea, very similar to the Kaibab in kind of setting. And then the Coconino sandstone, white sandstone coastal and inland sand dunes. That's what we see here. Just below that, Hermit formation. Red siltstone and sandstone channel and floodplain deposits.
What am I looking at?
There's a nice slope former there. And then the top of the Supai, which is where we're going, is called the Escalante sandstone. Reddish, cross-bedded sandstone, coastal dunes and beaches forms cliffs. So that's that one right down there.
Is that the dark red?
So what you're going to want to do on the way up is make stops at each one of these, and it's always good when you're sitting on the trail to look across and kind of gauge where you are. It's a little, you don't want to gauge it by the far ridge, because that one's been faulted a bit, so it's not quite at the same elevation we are. But this one near one is. And so as we walk down, this is a side canyon that goes up, and in fact we're camped just off of this side canyon. But when you get past this ridge and look out, that's the Grand Canyon proper. But this is all still considered part of the Grand Canyon. So everyone stay there. Don't move. We got to get the group shot. Everyone's looking happy that they got rained on.
Short people up front.
Should we look surprised?
You could.
Can we hold our little papers up?
Now we're well underway on the Kaibab Trail. We've only dropped about, oh, maybe 300 feet, maybe 4 or maybe 250, but just a few hundred feet. And yeah, the mules have been here. And the temperature's suddenly gone up about 5 or 6 degrees, decidedly warmer. Now let's catch up with the crew and our instructor, Professor Mark Willis.
Can I use still image mode? Oh, click it to.
The presence of these bowed trees indicate that the ground is creeping downward, and the tree is compensating as it goes toward the sun.
It's unfair. Cruelty.
Who makes that? Is that Japanese?
I think it's Japanese.
Yeah. Like the Japanese have the best desserts.
I know. Asians have candies. What, did you guys eat already?
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
This is my lunch view. Yeah, I want to hear myself chew.
I know, I was chewing and you said shh, I'm like, stop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but it'd be so amazing to like meditate here.
So this point concludes the Geology Colorado Plateau hike endpoint. However, for those who return and perhaps take the mules or have a constitution for a really long hike, there's a bridge down there that traverses to the other side of the canyon. This bridge begins a trail that goes for miles, a lot more challenging.
But if you think about it, every person's going to be having at least 2 kids. The population's going to double. Somehow, the nature will control it, and
In toward the abyss.
the way that their human lives is going to be controlled. I don't know.
Where you have a cage of fruit flies, and you start out with just one male and one female fruit fly.
So here, the rock has definitely changed color as we go from this red zone to this next color, almost getting to the top layer here. Rock is tan and whitish in color, like that. Still pretty well sorted, a little less fine grained. Some crystalline type structures. A little bit of cross bedding, I think. And we're moving on up. And this rock is almost white. Weathered, but still fine grained. Small grain, fine grain.